subscribe and press the bell icon.
Welcome back to Intelligent Bishop. Today we will be talking about notations in chess and why writing moves is important in chess. So stay tuned and watch till end. Now when I talk about writing moves, the first important thing that comes to my mind is how to represent any square on chessboard. So the basic thing is you have to mention the file name first and then the rank name. Suppose I move this pawn to this square. So it is written as e4. Remember, pawn does not have any suffix. Pawn is directly denoted by the square name which it occupies. So once again we will see the square is represented by file name and then the rank name. So when I move the pawn to this square, it is written as e4. When my opponent moved his pawn to this square, it is written as e5. As you can see, file name is E, rank is 5. So it is denoted by E5. Now what about knight? What if I move my knight to this square? Same thing. But here you have to remember that knight is denoted by letter N before it. So as you can see over here, it is NF3. Knight is represented by N and the square which is occupied by it is F3. Hence we write it as NF3. Similarly, my opponent moved his knight to this square, so it will be called as NC6. So that's how we write notations for knight. Now suppose I capture this pawn. So how to denote it? As you can see over here, E into D4. Now what is this? E represents the file name where the pawn was before capturing, and D4 is a square name after capturing. So between that there is a cross sign. You can call it as cross into takes because this pawn is capturing and taking this square. So we can say E takes D4 or E into D4. So whenever pawn captures, we write the file name and then the square of the name, the square which it occupies after capturing. Between that there is a cross sign. Similarly for knight, see N cross D4. So N takes D4 by capturing the pawn which was already on the square. So it is denoted by N takes D4. Similarly, opponent's knight occupies D4. Now Queen is represented by Q. Similarly, as the queen is taking d4 square after capturing opponent's knight, we will write it as q into d4. Q denotes the queen, into is takes, and d4, the square which it has occupied. So after that, let us try to make some moves and let's see the notation for it. So this is nf6, bishop c4, bishop e7. Now, this is known as castling. The king moves towards right by 2 squares and the rook moves towards left by 2 squares. This is a special move known as castling. Now, this is represented by 0-0. This is a special move. Similarly, my opponent castled. Then, my rook is coming to the square. So, how you will write it? RE1. R means rook. So R is a suffix for rook. Now R has occupied this E1 square. So we can write it as RE1. Similarly, rook E8. That is RE8. As you can see here. E8. 8. Now let's talk about bishop. Bishop to g5. B represents bishop and g5 represents the square name which it has occupied. So it is bg5. Okay, so this is knight h5. Now, what if the bishop captures? B into square name. B into e7. Queen into e7 as we discussed earlier. nc3. Queen g5. Bishop d3. And f4. Bishop c4. Now, in case of checkmate, we write a hash over here. So what was this move? Q into g2 hash. That is checkmate. As you can see, king has no square to move and king cannot take this queen as it is supported by this knight. So it is Q takes g2 checkmate. Another thing, if we give only check, it is represented by plus sign. So Q into g7 plus. That was for check. Now if we try to write the move for king, in similar fashion, we can write kg4 as k represents king and g4 is the square which it has moved to. So that is kg4. Now what if the king captures something? So it is represented by k cross and the square name. So it is k into d7. As you can see, the square is d and 7. So it is k into d7. Now one more special notation about pawn. Whenever the pawn reaches 8th rank and whatever piece is generated over here, that is also specified in the notation. For example, b8 equals to q. As you can see this, the square name and the piece whatever is generated is the notation. For example, b8 equals to bishop, that is b8 equals to b, b8 equal to n. Now plus is also given, means there is a check. As you can see, knight is created and there is a check. So b8 equals to n, b8 equals to r for rook. Okay, so this was all about notation and writing moves. Now let us have a short test. So what I will do is I will make a move on board. So identify this move. And your second move is, I hope you have liked this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for tricks, tips related to chess, and our upcoming videos will be on openings and tricks in the openings. So press the bell icon so you will get the notification for same. Thank you for watching.